Good afternoon everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Mike and in today's session we're covering price band flexibility and the options within Prima that you can use to basically be a little bit better and a bit more controlled over your pricing when it comes to Prima. So what we're going to be covering today is sort of an addition within the latest version of Prima for pricing bands and how you can be a little bit more flexible with them. If you have any questions, Ollie's already on the live chat, so if you've got any questions, ask away. Don't hesitate to ask him any questions, and we will be sticking around as usual at the end for anyone who wants to get all the information, then ask questions then. So in today's session, what we're going to cover is have a bit of a recap on how pricing bands work if you're not already sort of clued up. There are dedicated webinars on a couple of bits within the pricing bands, which I'll mention at certain points, which if you just have a search on our help site or on the YouTube channel, then you can go back and watch. Then basically how the new flexibility options within the pricing bands that we've added, and then finally sort of a couple of bits within customer offers as well and how you can be a little bit more flexible within there. So if we get started off, so your pricing bands, what they are is basically just a pricing method within Prima that you can use to group items together based on sort of information from suppliers, or you can group them yourself depending on how you want it to work. And basically that will put items that are similar together in a group, and then you can basically set up margin sort of markup pricing or discounts based off of those items. So that's the fundamentals of how they work. So if you want to set up any new pricing band in the admin, you will go to General, and then there's an option in here for a pricing band, and then there's a couple that we've got set up in here, but if you need to set up a new pricing band, you just take new pricing band and put in the relevant details of that band. So it might be you've set up a new supplier that have started with bands, or you want to create a separate band for something else, then you can go into it and you can set them up. With that being said, rather than you having to sort of update those all the time, we do have an option within, again, the admin to map these automatically. So when your catalogs come in or whatever for certain suppliers, we can have those map automatically. So any new items that are in those groups based upon the supplier data that were given, you can have them automatically update to the pricing bands using this catalog mappings option within the admin. So we can see in here that we've got a couple of options set up for the mappings. So an example with VOW here, if I just drag this over, it looks at sort of a specific field within the catalogue, manufacturer info 4, looks for a letter in, selects the supplier, and then it allows you to put in the price band that you want those items to map to. So you can use these for selected suppliers within the system. So just have a look in here. If you're using a supplier, you want to see if you use pricing bands to that supplier, you can actually add them in here. You are able to update them manually as well using the publications grid manager. So if I just hop into the sort of main section of Prima, if you don't have any items, any catalog mappings available, or you want to set them up yourself, if you're being a bit different from using the information supplied by your suppliers, you can go into the publication grid manager within here. You can search on your file and then the actual lettering, so what to group by, and then on the change tab, it might throw an error here just because we're not searching anything, but you are able to update the pricing band too. So that's the second option there. So you can either have them map automatically if they're one of those suppliers, and if you're using the sort of generalized data that the suppliers give, then you can have them map automatically. But if it's something that you want to sort of differ from the norm and you want to create your own options, your own bands, and split them down a little bit more, then you can use the publication grid manager to update that automatically. So with that being said, once you've set these up, at the moment with with most versions of Prima, previously it was just, if I go back to the bands, you would set them up in one of two ways. It would either be discount or it would either be margin markup, depending on how you have your system set up. So if I just click into one of the bands, the sort of a range type, and it's either margin or discount. So in the background against these bands, if I just expand the name, you'll see that some of them have a D next to them, and then the majority of these have M. So that will basically define how and what the pricing method is, whether it's margin markup or if it's discount. So you're quite limited on sort of how you used it. It was one or the other. So what we've actually introduced, if we go into a company, and this is set on company level, I can set in customer offer as well, which is something we'll come on to, is we go into the account, and if we go into product and pricing, at this point, when we go to add a band, it doesn't matter what that default is now. We can select the band we want, select the type, so whether it's discount or margin, and then put in the actual sort of percentage discount or percentage margin that we want to make or we want to give. So you're not limited of having one or the other. You know, company A can have all margin, company B can have all discount. Totally dependent upon what you want and what you think will work best for that customer. So you can be totally flexible account by account. You're not limited to having all your customers set up one way, and that's how it is. You can sort of go account by account and set it up and be completely flexible against those individuals. So it'll work a lot better if you've got any accounts that you will probably benefit from having set up in a margin. You can now, and it's just a case of selecting the options within here. That's if you're not using customer offers, that is. So you can just go in, select the sort of type. So if we want B2B discount, we can just put in, say, 10% discount, add it in, and then it will add into the band, into the bands here with that option. So you can select it on company level, and that's each and every company. So that's if you're adding the bands themselves. Now, you may be using something called customer offers. And this allows you to be even more flexible with the bands. Rather than just having a default setup or whatever you have, or if you want to basically give some form of continuity throughout your system and make sure that customers of a certain level are paying the same, and then you can offer sort of incentives. If customers spend more, you can sort of give them a bit better pricing because the spend has increased. And to do that, the easiest way for you to actually manage it is through the option for customer offers. And we've got a general offer set up here, and we've also got gold, silver and bronze, which is a way that you can be flexible. So this is something that we've set up as a default. You don't have to use gold, silver and bronze. You can set up whatever you want, and that's done through the admin. If I just close out this company and we go into the administration, another way that you can be really flexible is using this customer offer to basically say, right, well, if you're spending a certain amount, we're going to put you onto the general price, and then once you spend a little bit more, we'll move you up onto the bronze pricing, and you get a little bit better pricing there because you can manipulate the margins and the discounts that you're giving based on each offer. So if I go into, again, general, and then there's an option down the bottom for customer offers. You can see here we've got a couple of other offers. We're going to actually go through and have a look at the webinar on customer offers specifically. Then you can have a look after the session on what that is and how to set those up properly. But in this case, say if I go into the sort of the bronze offer, if we go into here, we can actually add a new band. So again, within the bands, you can be flexible. You can say, right, well, I want VAL band A to be within here, and we want to give it a discount. Let me just add the band first. And we want to get, in fact, we'll give this one a margin of, say, 30%, and we'll just update that. So that's been added into the bronze. That might just be a default price that you set up for all your accounts. Now, you've got other offers here. So if you wanted to, I just save this and close. You don't have to have the same pricing across the board, but you could go into the silver offer. And in that silver offer, we can then look to add a band, select, VAL band A. Again, we'll choose discount for this one. And we could give, say, 50% discount. So as you change these bands, as you want to give sort of the best pricing that you physically can give, you can set customers up using these customer offers to different levels. So if I just add that in, there we go, we've got silver. You've got the same band across multiple different customer offers at different levels of discount or margin. And you can you're not set to having one pricing method, you're not set to having one sort of discount level. You can set that up across the board and then use that customer offers across the board for all your accounts, which will save time later on because you're not having to manipulate and update sort of every account individually. You can just manage it from one central source. So that option to actually change the sort of type, the actual band that you're offering, can be used sort of against company level, and then within this customer offer as well to give you total control on your pricing. So that's pretty much it. The ability to switch it has giving you total control. So just a bit of a recap of what we've actually been through. So with the way that pricing bands work and what they are, you can set these up and group these by supply data or however you like, and you can actually set them up to automatically map using the catalog mappings within the admin, within the offer, sort of within in general, and then catalog mappings down here. And you can also set them up yourself and manage it using the publications grid manager directly through Prima. The new flexibility that's been added allows you to select the actual price band type against company to company, so you can select discount for one and margin for another, and that also works for customer offers as well. You can be flexible within there by offering different types of pricing bands and different types of actual discounts and margin levels across your customers. And you can be sort of really sort of creative with that. It doesn't have to be gold, silver and bronze. You can do whatever you want with that, and it will, you've got total control. And that's all for today's webinar. Quite a quick one, but don't forget, if you have any questions, me and Ollie will be sticking around for a little bit of time. And don't forget, if you have got a YouTube channel, to subscribe and be kept up to date with any of our future webinars and videos that will be coming out, because we've got a pretty packed calendar moving forward. But apart from that, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.